It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so it is, in fact, Shakur Stevenson fight week. A lot of people are gassed up, excited to see Shakur Stevenson fight, and rejoice because Shakur Stevenson is one of the premier talents in boxing right now. And I feel like every boxing fan, for the most part, should be excited about one of the big young stars of boxing, being in action against a dangerous, hard-hitting, determined opponent like an Edwin De Los Santos. Now, everyone is going to talk about that. That's going to get all the headlines, and it should. But that ain't what gets me excited on this card. That ain't what gets my blood boiling, my juices flowing. That's not what has me hyped for fight night. I'll tell you guys what has your boy BT and good old True School Sports hyped for fight night. And it's a fight that's going to be in the bantamweight division between two guys that normally fight at 122. So I don't know why they're coming down to 118, but nonetheless. It's going to feature two fighters who have made quite the reputation for themselves in the Las Vegas boxing, gyms. Anybody who's in the Las Vegas boxing gyms knows these two fighters very well because you can find them at many gyms in Vegas, all right? And that's going to be, Floyd Cashflow Diaz versus Max Ornelas. So now let's talk about it. Now, the reason I'm excited about this fight is because, Floyd Cashflow Diaz, he's one of these fighters that have been in the top ranked stable for, some time now. His pro debut was about 2 years ago. But he's had 9 fights, and we've had a chance to really see his career develop before our eyes. He's been in a lot of big undercards, and I'm very familiar with his career. I mean, he's fought a couple fighters that I am familiar with. Like I know he fought the Romanian kid Daniil on the Better Be a Smith undercard. I met Daniil, and I know Daniil because I've seen him in Pro Box, right? I met him from there, and I'd seen him there. And I've watched many of his other fights, right? So, good fighter, hasn't really flashed the knockout power you'd want, but he's still 20, he's still filling out. But has shown the ability to make adjustments, to have that boxing IQ. There's been fights where sometimes I've seen Floyd Castro Diaz be the boxer, be the slugger, be the pressure fighter, be on his back foot. So he's got some good things with him, right? I'm not here to demean anything about Floyd Diaz. He's a good fighter. Also, we all know that Floyd Castro Diaz, he got he got a lot of notoriety because he was one of those kids that would hang out around the Mayweather gym when he was young, and he was picking up his trade boxing and learning the sport of boxing. And he made some cameos on 24/7 back when Mayweather was fighting. So that's where he got the Cashflow moniker. That's where he got a lot of notoriety. That's where he got a lot of hype, which eventually has now led him to sign with Top Rank, right? Now, on the other side, Max Ornelas. This is a guy that, for those that don't know, he also has connections to a boxing legend. He was one of the first fighters that was with Roy Jones Jr. Promotions. I know there's articles on the internet where you could read about Max Ornelas. Roy Jones Jr. Saying that he thinks Max would be his first ever world champion. So there were always high expectations of Max. Good fighter, made some noise on the amateur scene here in the USA. Has had a very interesting career coming in at 15-1-1. It's been a lot of stopping, starting. A lot of inactivity throughout the course of his career, but very good fighter. I was exposed to Max quite a lot during 2021 and 2022 during my many trips to Las Vegas. Seen him spar, Angelo Leo, and I liked what I saw. Very, very good fighter. Tall, lanky, rangy. Not a lot of punch and power, but great footwork, nose distance. Just a hard guy to touch, honestly. I call him the Mexican Caleb Plant. Now, this is going to be his first fight since the loss to Hector Valdez last year, which I thought was the number one, without a shadow of a doubt, the worst robbery of 2022. It was so bad, Hector Valdez ain't even had a fight since then because Golden Boy said, man, this is so bad, we can't even put Hector Valdez out there again, right? But, Max, I thought, won 8 of the 10 rounds and got shafted horribly, right? So I labeled it the 2022 robbery of the year. And then, so it's a big opportunity for him as well because Max Ornelas, he's not one of these guys that does a lot of talking. You're not going to see him on social media too often, posting. He's someone that he's a fighter, man. He's just a fighter. And I like this fight a lot because, the fight's going to be at bantamweight, so I do have questions about, how can Max Ornelas healthily make the weight? How will his body react? Because with him having a taller, lankier frame, it may be a little harder for him to suck down the 118. And maybe Top Rank deliberately has done that so that they can ensure that they can try to do everything they can to hope that Floyd gets a victory, right? But stylistically, it's a good fight because from the cash flow side of things, he's gonna have to get past the long rangy jab of a Max Ornelas, the probes of a Max Ornelas, the footwork, the foot feints, his ability to just utilize that whole square circle, that whole boxing ring, right? And there are times too when you watch Max Ornelas fight or Floyd Diaz fight, like especially in his last fight, the fight he had against what was the guy's name? I got it in front of me. The guy was he Luis Fernando Svedera, all right? And that particular fight, he was in the pocket a lot. Sometimes he caught himself squaring up. There's been a couple fights I've watched of Floyd Diaz where he does square up a bit too much. So if that tendency that I have seen in some fights if it presents itself in this fight, I can see that being something a guy like Max Ornelas with his foot movement and his foot speed could capitalize on, right? Neither one of these guys are necessarily big punchers, so I wouldn't expect a big knockout, but you never know. It's boxing, anything can happen. Both these guys are very intelligent fighters. They both bring some good things to the table. And look, the winner of this fight is potentially looking at, pushing their way up the ranks. I know Floyd Diaz. This is at 118. I hate Floyd's. That's why this fight is weird because Floyd has fought at 122 plenty of times, especially recently. Max Ornelas has fought at 122 plenty of times, right? And they both have been up and down, but I'd rather see it at 122 than 18. But nonetheless, good fight. I don't know what the odds are. I mean, I would assume just because he's the house fighter that Floyd should probably be a slight favorite. But to me, in my eyes, I look at this as a pick 'em fight, honestly, because if you pick Cashflow Diaz, you're picking him because you believe that his boxing IQ and his versatility as a fighter is superior to that of a Max Ornelas, right? If you're picking Max Ornelas, you just think that his ability to control range, utilize the ring with his feet, throw those little flurries like at the right times as he showed in Hector Valdez fight, you just think that that's going to be enough and that his distance control and his ability to box at range is going to be something that he uses and exploits to win this fight. So should be real interesting to see. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I like Max Ornelas a lot. I'm a big fan of him. So I don't have a prediction. I just wanted to talk about it, get my thoughts, get my observations, clue you guys in on some things to look out for on the undercard, right? So I'm sure this will be on the prelims. I'll be tuned in early. I'll probably be live real early for this one because I want to watch this fight and the other fights in the card. But yeah, man, just best of luck to both fighters. Shout out to Cashflow Diaz and Max Ornelas for stepping up to the plate and making a good fight between two good young fighters who are really trying to move their career forward. And I gotta really respect Floyd. He's 20 years old. He's fighting Max. Max been around for a little bit as far as the Las Vegas gyms and sparring with people. So he's 25. He's trying to beat one of Top Rank's prospects, quote unquote darlings, so we can push on and show the world what he's got. And I do think he does got a lot to offer to the sport of boxing. Max Ornelas, as I do with Cashflow. Cashflow still has more time. I think the pressure really is on Max to win this fight just because he's 25 and time's going by and with the way boxing is these days, it's hard for fighters to stay active. So on that note, those are my thoughts on the fight I'm most excited for, the Battle of Las Vegas, right? Because even though I know Max is born in California, I know I don't know if he grew up in Vegas, but I know that Max has been training for quite some time in Vegas. Cashflow is a Vegas native. Cashflow was in the Floyd gyms. One guy was closely connected to Floyd. The other guy was signed to Roy Jones and very closely connected to him. So a lot of intriguing storylines going into this one. Should be a fun occasion. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Max Ornelas versus Floyd Cashflow Diaz. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just giving Daniel. So until next time, take your ass. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. We're here at the Hatanaka Boxing Gym in Nagoya, Japan. And for more great videos just like this one, make sure you guys click right here.